So let's see how this works. You might notice that this tool comes in two parts. One is the Overview tab that you can see here, and the other part is the Planner. I'll take you through the Overview tab, and then we'll get Kaylee to show you some of the features from the Planner tab. So this Overview tab gives a summary of the user's money in and money out position. Now we've also added some important COVID-19 cash flow support information at the top. Moving down, the Money In section gives users an overview of their overdue and open invoices and any quotes and unbilled time activities that they might have. The corresponding links will give them a quick and easy way into relevant reports and other sections of the product as well. The interesting thing is, if we detect that there's no invoices, then the corresponding link changes into a call for action and allows users to create an invoice directly from this page. The Money Out section below works in a similar way, representing the overdue and open bills. You might notice here in this company that it has the pay-as-you-go withholding section of the GST sections here. That's only because this company itself has GST or taxes set up, and it's turned on pay-as-you-go withholding to allow payroll. Now, a couple of things. Here in the top right corner of these two Money In and Money Out sections, we have the totals. And these totals of the bank account balances are pulling from the bank feeds, which of course we're hoping are the direct bank feeds. So it is ideal to drive direct feed adoption so that customers can get more accurate data. And finally, just on the right-hand column, we've got this little section here. It's currently being built, which in the next iteration will give a peek into the customer's cash flow position. And there's a couple of new sections as well that will be added soon. The first of them will be a section where there will be a few prompts to action that will allow customers to get a better picture of the cash flow, such as connecting their bank account. And the second section to be added very soon is a quick view of their upcoming money in and money out transactions. So with that, that's a quick overview of that tab, and we'll pass it over to Kaylee, who will take you through the planner. Thanks, Kaylee.
Thanks, Steve. I just want to take a second to add to what Steve said, that the PAYG and GST especially are such important information because no matter how many cycles the customer has gone through, they always get surprised with their GST and PAYG bills. So having all the information in one place is just so helpful for the customers. So really super excited to bring this to life. The second part of the cash flow solution is the Planner tab. So let's take a look at how the Cash Flow Planner tab looks like. So as you can see here, the cash flow planner is showing all the money in and money out transactions for the customers. If you think about what cash flow is, it is essentially money in and money out. So what you see here are the money in and money out transactions. The great thing about this is it doesn't matter if they have classified transactions or not. Like I mentioned, cash flow is just money in and money out. It doesn't matter if it's classified. So as soon as the bank feed comes in, it's in the books. The cash flow planner gets updated and the user can see a real-time picture of their cash flow. What you see here is the total balance from all the bank accounts combined. So this gives them a total picture of their cash flow position. There are two views. The other is the cash balance, which is showing how their cash flow is trending. And as you can see here, there's a dip in my savings. So essentially, there's a gap. I need to take action in order to mitigate that gap. And that's the power of the cash flow planner. With absolutely no effort required, this gives a small business a view of what their cash flow looks like in the future. As you can see here, this is not just today. The cash flow planner predicts 3 months ahead, and it does so by a few means. One, it looks at all the recurring transactions that the user has already created in QuickBooks. For example, they may have a recurring bill or a recurring invoice or expense, so it picks that up. It also looks at bank transactions to look at recurring patterns from the bank accounts and then predict those transactions as well, giving the user a realistic view of their cash flow 30 days or 90 days into the future. If a recurring transaction is coming up, it will identify that with the icon that says it has been predicted and it is not an actual transaction in the system. That's the first part of the cash flow planner. The second thing is we noticed how users now have a lot of information about their business in their head. For example, they have created an invoice with a due date that says the 4th of April. But they know in their head that the customer will pay on the 18th of June because they've had discussions and it's not in their books yet. So what we have done here in the Overview Transaction section is to actually give them an option to view any overdue invoice. So in this case, I have an invoice that is overdue that has a due date of the 4th of April. And what I can do is, I know that this customer will pay me on the 18th of June, for example. I can simply update this here, and it will reflect in the cash flow planner. As you saw, it went from a negative balance to a positive balance. So this is allowing me to check what happens if the customer pays me on the later date. And the great thing about this little message here, this is a safe place to play with the numbers. Whatever you do here is not going to impact your actual balance in the books. This is just for the cash flow planning purposes. The second thing that the user can do is look at the future events for money in and money out. So let's say there's a $2,500 expense that is coming up for PaperCo for the 30th. Keep in mind, this is an expense that is already in the system. If the user wants to figure out what will be the impact on cash flow if they don't pay this, I can simply remove it to see how this will impact my cash flow. Not just that, this has no impact on the user's books. So it's all happening just in the cash flow planner section. So that is basic scenario planning, since you can edit transactions. You can change the due date and you can remove transactions. I can even change the amount that I see. Okay, so what if I make another major payment of $4,500 to this supplier instead of $1,500? I simply update the cash flow planner and it updates in real time to tell me that I don't have the money to pay for that right now. So that's another great feature. Then the other thing is from a money in perspective. As you know, in today's world, there are a number of government stimulus offers that are available to customers. So customers can add what we call events for scenario planning. Not only can they edit what is already in the system and predicted, they can also add an event. So let me go ahead and add an event that says, if I get money from the ATO on the 15th of June 2020, and it's money in, it's a JobKeeper payment, and it's for $5,000. So what will happen if I do this and hit save? It's going to reflect in real time and see how it changes the cash flow. So the users can make the call on whether or not to keep their employees. Using this tool, they can make all kinds of business decisions. Let's say I want to buy an asset worth $9,000 on the 15th of June. Can I afford it? Let's see what happens. Save. It's saying I'll go negative, right? So this is powerful, the fact that they can play around with the tool and do scenario planning without actually impacting their books at all. So that's the demo of the cash flow planner.